Hi, it's Jen from Dream Prague. You don't have to be American to know that the presidential election is coming soon to the United States. I know we can't stop talking about it. And even though you probably know that the United States is a democracy, sometimes the candidate who gets the most votes doesn't actually win. This is thanks to a little something called the Electoral College. Recently, I was interviewed by a Czech food influencer and blogger, and I couldn't wait to tell him about my favorite Czech food and my favorite Prague restaurants. And then he gave me a little pop quiz about the Electoral College, namely, what the hell was it? Oh, it's well, we vote and then there's two and they... Okay, I'm a political junkie and American, and so this was kind of embarrassing. So I immediately went home and researched the Electoral College, and I was really surprised by what I found out. It's even more messed up than I thought. So in celebration of the upcoming American election, this here is a brief explainer about our completely messed up voting system. Buckle up. It all started one hot and sweaty summer in 1787, where a bunch of white dudes got together to write a constitution for a new country. They had worked out so many details, but they couldn't agree on how this country would elect its president, its leader. The northern states suggested a direct vote, where each eligible voter would vote for who they wanted to be the president. But some states weren't so sure about that. They all agreed on a country by the people. White men. What? For the people. But how would a normal farmer or a normal blacksmith even know who would make a good leader for their new country? And remember, this was before Instagram, where you could follow your candidates and see what they ate for breakfast. So normal people had nothing to base their votes on. And because we can't dig very far into American history without striking the original sin of slavery, reason number 2, the northern states had more eligible voters than the southern states. And so if it was a direct democracy, the northern states would have an advantage. And the South was not getting on board with that. And so they made a fairly reprehensible compromise. Instead of each eligible voter in the country casting one vote, each state would get a certain number of electors, roughly based on the population of their states. And each elector would make a decision as to who would be president. The electors would be educated men, mostly politicians, because they obviously know best. And even though the South had less eligible voters, what they did have was a lot of slaves. So, to make things fair, they counted each slave as 3/5 of an eligible voter, which then gave the South more electoral votes than the North. But the slaves didn't get to vote or be free, but they counted. Well, 3/5 of them did. Are you getting this logic? The South immediately got more political influence over their new country, and so they were happy. And that's it. That's all the framers said. It was up to each state to determine how they would appoint their electors and the rules around those electors. We wrote you a whole constitution. Just take care of this on your own, will you? Now, technically, these electors could have voted for anyone they wanted to. They didn't have to listen to the people. That seemed kind of dangerous, though. So the states experimented with different rules for their electors. Some gave the electors to the state's representatives. Some gave electors to the different districts in a state. And others tried a system called winner-take-all. Winner-take-all means whatever party wins the most votes in that state will get all of the state's electors. Now, in the year 1796, Thomas Jefferson ran for president. And even though he had the majority of support in the most populous state, Virginia, he didn't have enough electors overall to win the presidency. Now, Jefferson was a smart man and a very powerful leader of his political party. So he called up the governor of Virginia, who was also in his party. How you doing? If I'm gonna win next time, I think we're gonna need to massage the numbers a bit. How about we try this new winner-take-all thing? Capiche? I don't think he was Italian. So the governor agreed and changed Virginia to winner-take-all. Jefferson won the majority of the popular vote, and so he took all the electors in that state and won the presidency. Then Massachusetts, who was run by the opposing party, saw what Jefferson had done, and so they changed their state to winner-take-all. This soon became an arms race, and every state had to change to winner-take-all so as not to disadvantage their own party. In 2020, 48 of the 50 US states are winner-take-all, and this is the heart of the problem. So why is this a problem? I mean, there are 50 states, shouldn't it kind of even out? Well, usually it does. Imagine you have two states with 10 electoral votes each. If each party only wins by a small majority in both states, it comes out about even. But when one party wins by a small majority in one state, and the other party wins by a big majority in another state, they tie with the same amount of electoral votes, even though overall the people were heavily in favor of one side over the other. There have been a few times in the 1800s and a couple times lately where it hasn't worked out. In the 2000 election, Al Gore got over 500,000 more votes than George W. Bush, but George W. Bush got a few more electoral votes and a little help from the Supreme Court. And you might remember the most recent presidential election where Hillary Clinton got almost 3 million more votes than Donald Trump, and he still beat her by 77 electoral votes. Houston, we have a problem. Here's another problem with the winner-take-all system. Your vote only matters if you are in one of the handful of swing states. We call them that because they swing back and forth between Democrat and Republican every election. So the candidates only focus on issues that matter to swing states, like coal and fracking, and they kind of ignore other issues that matter to other states, like forest fires caused by climate change. Another odd thing about this system is that not every voter's vote has the same value. One electoral vote in Wyoming counts for 193,000 people, but one electoral vote in California counts for 718,000 people. So a person's vote in Wyoming is over 3 times as valuable as a voter in California. So the answer seems obvious, right? Just get rid of the whole system. Abolish the Electoral College and let whomever gets the most votes win. Yeah, that's not how things work. The problem is, no state has the incentive to change their rules first. If California gets rid of winner-take-all, then the Democrats lose, and if Alabama gets rid of winner-take-all, then the Republicans lose. No, you go first. You go first. No, you go first. You go first. No, it's fine. Go. No, you go first. It's fine. Go. No, it's fine. You go first. There is a proposal that's floating around that a bunch of states will get rid of winner-take-all if we get enough people to join into the movement. And then we all do it at the same time. But it won't work unless enough states agree, and we still need a few more states. Also, Republicans aren't so keen to get rid of the system because it's kind of been working out for them. So we just have to cast our ballots and hope that it works out for democracy this time. One last thing. Most Americans vote for president with their own domestic needs in mind. How the economy is doing, what the jobs numbers are. But the whole world is watching our election, and it's not just because they're curious about the shit show. Who we elect matters very much to people in other countries. It's not fair, but it's the way it is. American presidents declare wars that their allies fight and die in. American presidents sign agreements, they pull out of treaties, and they threaten to leave behind long-standing alliances. In an age of global warming and global pandemics, Americans can't afford to vote with only their own interests in mind. I never fully understood this until I moved to another country. So if you're American and you haven't voted yet, consider the impact of your vote on the rest of the world. And thank you for coming to my Gen Talk. If you're still here and you've managed to understand even 50% of this ridiculously complex voting system, give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Uvidíme se příští týden. Ahoj.